Are influencers the new celebrities, quote unquote?
Who is
What
this?
do you be watching? That's the real question. Why they serve you that?
Well, Elon messed up Twitter.
Okay. Sit down interview, very controlled. That was like our only exposure to celebrities.
Are they giving us too much?
Yes.
The things that I'm willing to do for these Jay-Z tickets.
Drewski skit was funny. He looked crazy.
He looked familiar
with his makeup.
Don't get in front of microphones.
It says us on the microphone. Welcome back to Millennial Minds. We are your hosts.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Amber. And together we are Creme Brulee.
Yes, we are.
So let's hop into our first segment, which is going to be the Millennial Insight.
Okay.
This week, we actually had some news with celebrities and, finding out about Lotto's pregnancy. And she had dropped like some nuggets about who allegedly could be the father.
We know who the father is.
So that all happened, and it got me to thinking about celebrity culture from our youth, if you will, right? And really how curated media was when we were growing up in the days of, sit down interviews, very controlled, very, curated questions. The days of Word Up magazine, which was one of my favorite magazines. But like that was like our only exposure to celebrities,
Right.
if you will. And so now, fast forward to where we are now, we get a lot more information about our celebrities. And it makes me wonder, does that diminish our love of the celebrity?
Yeah.
Right. So I thought that it was just a good, conversation of like just where we started to like kind of where we are with celebrity culture.
Kind of. So I guess the insight is, are they giving us too much?
Yes. Do you think, let's start there. Do you feel as though celebrities are giving us way too much information? Are they oversharing to an extent to where you don't feel interested?
That's on them, That's on them. I appreciate some level of vulnerability. I do appreciate some level of authenticity, and transparency. So I appreciate that. I'm not asking for it. I'm sure a lot of fans, people that have like this interest in these individuals, I'm sure they would want a little bit more. But I go back to Will Smith, right? So Will Smith, point one, we still have these curated outlets, right? Jay just sat down with GQ, and I guarantee they sent him a list of questions that he was willing to answer. Now, how it was framed is probably up to the journalist. And shout out to the young cat, I forgot his name. Great interview, by the way. If you haven't seen it, go see it.
Did you enjoy it?
I did enjoy it. I thought it was insightful. It's all and so it really, it reminds me how much I appreciate when we do hear from these individuals, because we don't hear from them as much. Why, right? That's what
But Jay
I
is a
would prefer.
different. I feel like Jay is kind of different because we don't hear from Jay that often, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking about the amount. Let's, for lack of another example, Cardi B and her rise to stardom.
Well, see, so
right. So I feel like Jay
so
is.
that's why I brought up Will.
Okay.
Right. I brought up Will because at one point only time we saw Will was on the red carpet. He was promoting a movie or whatever the hell he was doing. But once he started vlogging, and giving us more, he started doing more interviews and stuff like that. And maybe it was sort of centered around the red table talk and all that stuff. So maybe
I don't even want to talk about the red table talk.
And honestly, that would lead into a question I have for you, in regards to controlling the narrative.
Finish your point.
So my point is that it really just determines on what you would want to see from them, and the celebrity has to determine how much they're willing to give, right? So like unsolicited information, Like I don't want to hear that. Like it could be something very small, like, oh, I don't like pepperonis on my pizza. Like nobody cares. Nobody asked for that. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we it's nice that we know what your favorite color is, but that's something that you could just keep to yourself, yo. So I think in regards to these celebrities nowadays, now what I think we would have to look at the age, because if they're young, they came up in social media, and so now it's almost like they have to do it, you know, and which is unfortunate because there's some things about my private life I wouldn't want other people to know, but sometimes that level of fame may require it, you know.
Because then I think about, no, I remember us having the conversation related to the Kardashians, and though they've had a
Mm,
television show for what, 20 years? How long they done been keeping it? How long we've been keeping up with the Kardashians? Very long time. So when they, switch networks and the works. But what I will say is that as much, even though they have this reality TV show, we see them online quite a bit. I feel as though we still don't know nearly as much, aside from, like, of course they had the leak video or whatever, but even that was, allegedly
curated.
curated, right? For this springboard that they experienced, right? Allegedly. But regardless, it's like we still don't know nearly as much. You watch the show and you will learn just as much as you already knew about what they do, or how they're living their day to day, or the people that they're interacting with, or the conversations that they have. It's there's nothing. It's all very still at the surface. Like, we still, there's not drama pieces coming out. Everything that comes out about the Kardashians and Jay and B
There.
are all blind items that no one knows. It's all speculation.
Oh,
No one knows.
until you brought up J and B, I thought you were going to say everything. What in that regard, like they're putting stuff out, So whatever they want out there, they will put
Yes,
out.
they are purposefully allowing us to see pieces of what they want us to see.
Right.
And I appreciate that.
Right.
And I do feel as though now we get into, and times have changed, of course. I do agree with that. However, I feel like the Kardashians are a really good example of acting like you're giving a lot, right? Because they give us a lot, quote
And
unquote.
I know that they're a group of five, right?
Hell, they are a
But there's
clan of
only
25 at this
but there's only
point.
two that are doing what you're saying. It is really just Kim and Kylie. Those are the only two. The other three, they are in their own little bubble, their space.
They are in their own bubble.
Kim and
And
Kylie are at the forefront when it comes to this fame
even
stuff.
Kylie doesn't share that much. I mean, a bikini picture, ooh,
That's it.
like, it's not, again, it's still,
That's
it's
it.
like they're giving enough but not but it's like they're giving and sharing but also not sharing anything too deep. And I think for me, where I find opportunity, which I believe I've said before, is when, to your point, celebrities start telling us things that changes my idea of them as a person. Not saying that I want to be a celebrity, but we do have, there is this sometimes maybe aspirational aspect or inspirational aspect,
Yeah.
or we enjoy the grind, the hustle, whatever the story, right? We enjoy that, whatever it is. And when comments get made about their personal lives, in the sense of, oh, this person, admitted to having an affair, or, this person, is in talks about, I don't know, sharing political views about something, or whatever the case may be. It's like, now it's like, I don't know that I'm that interested in you anymore, because back in the day, right? And I'm going to back in the day, we didn't have the social media piece. And so maybe all of those things were happening. We were just privy to this one page spread and word up, and I feel like that felt really good, because it kept that mystique of, like, I get to know you, or I feel like I get to know you.
Again, so the ones that you're talking about, how old are they? How long have
Mm,
they been famous?
Kylie's young.
But she's also she comes from a family, so there's probably this level of understanding, right? So she's not unfamiliar to it.
So you're saying
I'm
that this may
I'm saying
be more of the.
the ones that are coming in now, right? Like you
Mm-hmm,
wanted to bring up Lotto, right?
mm-hmm,
And I thought what she did for the pregnancy, about the pregnancy, was
mm-hmm.
fine, right?
I thought
Like
it was fine. I thought it was fine.
right.
I thought it was fine.
There
It
was
was just
no
the example
question.
of,
Yeah.
share that other. It's fine. Also, it could taint people because then we were talking about how people were getting in the comments, right? Saying, oh, y'all are cool with Lotto allegedly getting pregnant by a married man, but you're not cool with this other woman getting with a married. So now we're having conversations about who's marrying who, and you're dropping Easter eggs on who could possibly be the baby's father, and everyone's like, is no one else like so we're invested in something that's other than the music, other than just, I would love to know what your favorite color is. Unlike you, I don't mind knowing your favorite
Well,
color
you know
and
what?
your favorite smoothie.
I told someone this morning. Not this. Oh my God, I'm sorry. This morning,
Okay, who you talking to?
brain fart. But I told someone earlier this week after the GQ interview with Jay, right? And I told him, I said, hey, like I appreciate these. I appreciate these moments that we get with him, right? Like,
Yes.
you know, and it's not a long, drawn out interview. It's like 35 minutes. You know what I mean? And they're going back and forth, which is fine, right? But there's a conversation that's being had. And so even something small as, oh, I'm reading this book, you know, is something that I could take away from it. Not aside from the other stuff, you know, but it's just something that small where I'm like, yo, what's the morning routine like for you? You know, it's just like, what is your day to day look like? You know, and of course, we're not going to get that, but that's something that I would like to inquire because even when I hear it on records, right? Men at the Garden, he was just, what did Kendrick say? He was just like, I run 6 miles a day or something like that, just to start, you know, and just kind of walking us
God
through.
bless his soul. I know his knees, baby. I gave up running for a reason.
You know, some small stuff like that, right? Like where and some artists, they do give us glimpse of that, or like they just put it on wax and kind of, you know, let us know. And yeah, maybe we take it with a grain of salt, which is fine. But you know, I feel like, why would you need to lie about, you know, making eggs in the morning?
People lie all the
You know what I'm
time.
saying? So I'm
We
like,
saw the one lady who lied about the honey bear containers.
oh,
You remember
okay.
her? Yeah, people lie about literally the stupidest things. So
Yeah.
am I surprised that you would lie about having eggs and you don't even like eggs?
You don't like eggs?
I'm not surprised at all. You would absolutely lie about that.
No, so that's, I think that's what it is. And I have to go back to the age thing because I think if you're someone that has experienced both sides of this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Before social media, after it, or like during it, then you kind of have a sense of idea on how to move, right? Wiz Khalifa, who is my favorite YouTuber of all time, he provided us some access to his personal life, right? And he was just showing like regular stuff. Like he had a pit and a dog. He had a dog. He showed us his mom. I think maybe a couple episodes he showed us his sister, his family, and stuff like that, who eventually became part of his videos down the road. But early on, yeah, it was just some regular dude in his basement, just smoking and doing X, Y, and Z. And then so we started to feel this sense of connection to him, like, oh, he's a regular dude, right? And that carried over into the music, which brought him a lot of success, right? So you can have it both ways. I think it's just determined. It's determined on how much you're willing to give, and also the fans, man. Like I wouldn't want to give them too much, especially if I know that it's like it's going to intrude into my personal life, you know?
So do you think the difference is the type of insight and the context of the insight they're giving? Not necessarily that celebrities are bringing us with them on the journey or bringing us inside of their world,
Right.
but the way in which they're bringing us in versus knowing, I guess, the messy and the not messy, for lack of better terms.
Yeah, there's a way to move, man. Like I mean, even doing our stuff with our creme brulee page, right? Like we don't show them too much of our personal life. We're showing them our regular. right? Our normal,
Yeah.
but it's not going so far as to like we need to do this or I need to
Yeah.
actually show you. You know what I'm saying? Like we're not showing everything, and you don't have to.
You know what this reminds me of?
What?
This reminds me of the early influencer days when the girlies started by doing an outfit of the day by just showing up in the new outfit.
Lovely.
And now you're putting on you got your drawers, your bra out, and you just on camera, like it showing everything for the world to see. Just like the woman we just saw literally standing outside with her pants
Oh
down
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
her underwear.
yeah.
And I'm just like, you can't be getting paid that much. And that actually leads me into a question for you as far as do you do you think that being a celebrity has become so commoditized, like by just being accessible, right? With viralness of videos, etc. Do you feel like it's just become a commodity to,
What's
or like are influencers the new celebrities, quote unquote?
what is that little cartoon? Y'all probably know what I'm talking about, but it's like it's these little minions. Isn't it the minions? The yellow
Yeah, we know the
cartoons.
minions. Where are we going with this?
That's what it feels like. There's just so many of them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what it feels like. It's so many of them because I mean I came across I get apparently he's a YouTuber or a streamer or whatever, and he did something like he bailed out this pretty looking woman and like convinced her to go on a date because he did so. And I didn't the type of content that I just can't get behind, but it came across my algorithm, so I was just like, I was just like, who is
What
this
do
dude?
you be watching? That's the real question. Why they serve you that?
Well, Elon messed up Twitter, so
Okay.
it
I've been hearing that
it's a lot.
for a while. So
Yeah, it's terrible. But yeah, so it seems like they're just kind of popping out. Like it's like they're factory made on in a
so would you
sense.
say that
It's so many.
influencers are becoming the new celebrities,
Yeah.
and maybe that's the difference. Maybe you know how they said there's a difference between a beautician and a hairstylist, or I can't remember what the argument was, but there's differences between those two. Would you say that celebrity
What is the
is it
difference between those two, beautician and
it was
hairstylist?
like along the lines of like the being able to, like, because there was like this whole conversation about washing not being included, and it's like if you go to
Oh,
a beautician,
services.
yeah, like you go get
Okay,
your hair washed, like that comes with the service, like y'all are tripping, and then you got the braiders out here saying, oh
fellas,
well, I'm not certified to
fellas, imagine your barber telling you to come lined up before you show up to the.
no, honestly, like,
That'd be
so it's like
crazy.
this whole debate, right? And so then it makes me think that if it makes me theorize that the influencers are actually modern day celebrities,
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, let's
right?
let's let's start with a couple
But
names.
influencers are getting younger and younger.
Let's start with a couple names, right? This dude, I Show Speed. He's
Who? See, this is what I'm saying. Folks be having, they be like, you never heard of this person? They
we got a
got 20
clip.
million followers.
We got
I had never heard of Mr. Beast. I promise you, up
until
until
YouTube.
it was maybe like a year or two ago. And I was like, who the hell is this Mr. Beast guy
Crazy.
that everyone's talking about? And apparently everyone knows him
He's
but me.
he was a Twitch streamer. I think he was a gamer or something like that. But he's done like these world vlogs, these world
Yes,
tour
something
vlogs.
like that. And like lots of money is
Yeah, he
involved.
was just recently. I don't know what kind of he was on a soccer field and he was playing like a legit game in front of a crowd
You know what it
and he scored a
was?
goal and everybody went crazy. So like he has a lot of influence.
No, he absolutely does.
Kai
What
Sinat.
it was that I was listening to one of my, either it was the marketing podcast that I listened to, or it was like one of my finance podcasts that I was listening to, and they were talking about Mr. Beast and the little eating packs, the little packs of, like, it's like a snack pack essentially that he had brought to market. And that was like my introduction to him. It had nothing to do
With his content.
with his content at all.
Got it.
It was a finance, which honestly just shows impact of how,
Yes, baby.
I'm not saying, of course, but
No,
I'm just
no, I'm
saying,
saying
like,
yeah.
it just shows that those who are starting in this influencer space have gotten are
Very massive.
in
Casa
the
and I,
celebrities.
Casa and I went from a Twitch streamer to I believe now he has his own clothing company, clothing line. And so it looks like he's pivoted away from doing that
And good for
streaming
him.
stuff, because that's a lot. That's a lot of time.
And
But
that's what I would say too, is like I would love to see more of that pivot into becoming moguls, or reaching for what the dream was before. There was another young man, I can't remember his name, it escapes me right now, but he started as on Vine. Black boy, do you know who I'm talking about? I cannot think of his name, but he started on Vine, hilarious, and now he's producing. He is producing
Jay
with,
Versace.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
love his art,
Yes.
right? But it was always about the music,
Yeah.
and so I can really get behind that type of influence,
Yeah. Jay has worked with a lot of artists.
yes,
Yeah.
versus the influence of baddies. You know what I'm saying? Or whatever the case may be. Like, I can get behind that influence more than I can get behind the influence of just,
It can't be
oversharing.
the end all be all.
Yeah, it can't just be attention, all eyes on me. Like, what was her name? It was like Tiara. I can't think of her name. Tila Tequila. I think that was her. Allegedly.
How you bringing Tila Tequila?
I'm just saying, she popped back on the scene doing some wild stuff.
Speaking of
But it was all for attention, which is crazy.
Speaking of popping back on the scene, Jillian Michaels is on Jubilee.
Who?
Jillian Michaels.
Oh yes, we talked about Miss Julia Michaels.
We'll be watching that and dissecting that when.
I'm excited.
After this episode, I'm excited too.
I am excited for that.
But I have a question for you.
Yes.
Because and my final point is yes, I feel like they're just popping out of a factory at this point. There's so many. It's just like I don't know who's who, but apparently they just have a huge following, and it's surprising, right? Like streaming is big business, and they're now on commercials and public ads. Like, I mean, people may not think that Drewski is like a real deal comedian. He doesn't do like the comedian work, meaning like he's not on stage.
He's
like
not
that.
doing shows in that regard, but I would
he's
say
making
that
content in a way that is like still impactful.
yes.
And honestly, he might feel more comfortable. I don't know him, but see, and this will lead me to my point. Why do you think people project so much onto celebrities that they've never met?
Why do you believe
people project so much onto celebrities that they've never met?
Because there has to be something that's lacking from them. It's like we love to see ourselves in others, right? Like, and so it's so when their celebrity doesn't live up to the expectation that no one asks for. And I think that's part of it too. It's like we don't like remember that fame or something, like it's not necessarily their end all be all either. This is not,
Hopefully
they never
not.
said they wanted to be role models. I remember Cardi saying that before.
Charles Barkley, notorious for saying that.
Like, I never said I wanted to be your child's role model. That's on you.
And yet he said the same thing. He said you should be
right.
looking at the parents.
And so you're projecting this idea that I'm supposed to be so great, so kind, so giving,
flawless.
so everything. Great at basketball. I'm giving back to the community. Guess what? I just want to play basketball and go home. Yeah. That's actually what I signed up for, and that's what I'm going to do. So you being upset as someone who may follow one of these celebrities, that's on you. If those are things that are aspirational to you or that you want to do, then maybe focus your attention on doing those things for yourself. But you can't expect someone else, let alone someone you don't even know. These folks don't know you from a can of paint, right? So let alone expecting them to live up, to the American dream. Like, come on, y'all. It sounds crazy. It sounds delusional. A lot of people, which there's nothing wrong, stay delusional, but like also be delusionally in reality. Like, there's a balance. I know. It's an oxymoron, but I am very delusional in a lot of things and also grounded in a lot of ways. And I strike a balance between believing I can do anything I set my mind to while also staying steadfast and taking care of responsibilities. Like there is a balance in that,
Yeah.
you know?
No,
And
I think yeah, I think people just need some sense of community. And not only that, like you're right, they may have some underlining issues that, they're not addressing.
mhm.
And so they want this artist or entertainer to walk this line that they've envisioned.
Or that they don't even walk them damn selves. That be the
That's
thing.
another, yeah, that's another thing as
You
well.
don't
Yeah.
even live like that.
Yeah.
And that is really what be killing me about a lot of people. We have a lot of internet warriors.
And I offer them a lot of grace because I can imagine having that level of not so much scrutiny, but just like attention. You
Scrutiny and attention.
scrutiny, yeah. Well, I wanted to because
People
Will,
always feel like they have to give some type of criticism that no one asked for.
and now I will say this: Will is probably the will be one of my like biggest examples during this episode because of how much like I appreciated him when I was younger and as an adult, right? And seeing that kind of transition, it definitely hurt my heart to see him like that. You
See
know,
them like what? The
the table talk
red table talk
and
was
the
that hurt my heart.
and the
I'm
Oscars
sorry, thinking about it right now, just in real time, I'm seeing his face right now, and it
and
literally hurt me
and the
to watch
Oscars
that.
and the Oscars,
And the
right?
Oscars, yes, that
And
was
then we
very
get
hard.
to we get to the Disney show, which I loved, by the way. The with where he went to the different continents.
Oh yeah. I did enjoy that. Though it was very curated,
But see, that's the thing, right?
but
Like
I
I would expect
enjoyed it.
nothing less.
Yes, but I enjoyed it. Look, we were sitting here even thinking like, you think
Is
he
he a
really
stunt
climbed
double?
that?
Is that a stunt double?
Look, right, did you actually climb that ice mountain or with somebody? Because we can't really tell with the wind blowing left and
Yeah,
right.
yeah. You got all this gear
But
on.
all of a sudden you at the top.
You got
Interesting.
all this gear
I'm
on.
not mad at it if you didn't climb it.
How many drones did you have out
Your
there?
health is important, Will. We want to see you make it.
No, but so like he's gone on record, right? And I've read this book and I've listened to his interview with Elliot Wilson and B Dot, and he was basically saying like he couldn't curse at one point, right? Because he's having to he has to put out this image, in order to get where he needed to be,
Yeah.
and it's unfortunate, right? So the moment that he does do something, now all of a sudden you feel the need to like scrutinize him, right? Like no,
Right.
it's like look, he's human, right? Like, and he's all the way up until a certain point, he's kind of walk the straight and narrow, but at the same time, the moment that he does something that you don't agree with, now he's
Right.
everything under the sun,
Yeah.
and it's just like, yo, I offer these celebrities and entertainers a lot of grace, artists too. I offer them a lot of grace, right? Because I can imagine being in their position, just like LeBron and the China situation. Everybody that had something negative to say about LeBron.
What was the China situation for?
So the Chinese citizens, they were protesting the government at the time, and I believe it was just over social media and access to it and stuff like that. And there was a GM named Daryl Morey, GM in the NBA, who basically said that he stands with the Chinese people. Now, mind you, the NBA sent their best players over to China at the time, right? And so they were campaigning, just not so much to get media deals and all that stuff, but like, they have to play the game, right? China's like, I believe China makes up 60% of the NBA's revenue.
Oh yeah,
So,
that's
so it's a big deal. So yeah, we're going to send our best players over there to talk to your people and do X, Y, and Z and network essentially. And LeBron, of course, heard the comments that Daryl Morey had made and basically criticized him for it. Lack of better words, like he called him stupid. You know what I'm saying?
you're dumb.
And so people felt like he was selling out because of that, right? And I'm like, well, he is employed by the NBA, so
He should be allowed to have an opinion about the company that he's employed by.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Because it's like if you're in his position, you're over there.
So he was in China.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, okay.
he was in China along with like 15 other NBA
Okay,
players.
I thought he was maybe in the States
No,
and there were other
no,
players
no.
out there. Okay,
He
okay.
was in China. So like, yeah, and it's unfortunate because you would want to see someone like that speak up about, or just like human rights and stuff like that. But also, I kind of understand his position. Like
Okay.
you're with the NBA. This is 60% of your revenue, yearly revenue. Yeah, you don't want to. You have to toe the line a little bit, which is unfortunate. And I can imagine being the one to have to make that decision. And so he had to speak out against Daryl Morey in the public, and people felt the way about that.
Did he have to speak out? Do you
As the
feel
face of the
like
league, yeah. As the
when
face of the league, yeah, he did. He did.
when you did, were there other players who shared that same sentiment?
More or less, not to his level though. So it's more so like they had no comment or anything like that. Um,
So they let him take the hit, is what you're saying,
yeah, I think as the
for
face
the
of the
brunt of
league,
it.
you would have to, right?
Yeah.
You would have to. So I couldn't imagine, and I think people they're so fine with being in their bubble in their space. They're not able to think outside of that. So they're just like, oh no, you should just say this. It's like, okay, well, like what would happen if the NBA is no longer bringing in that revenue, right? Now all of a sudden they're not on TV anymore.
Now your salary is $1 million. Honestly, like, because
Now
you
we're
think
going back to the
60,
80s.
yeah, you think 60%. That's a large
Huge chunk.
portion for one place to have control
Yeah.
over,
Yeah.
right? So yeah, you lose that 60%.
That's a big deal.
You're talking about, well, you don't care about it, but your salary is gonna see that, and we already know how people feel about inflated salaries and sports. So
And
I shouldn't say
I
more.
remember asking a couple people because it went from, oh, he's just not as good as Michael Jordan or Kobe Bryant, to this, oh, he's a sellout.
Oh, so now we're moving the goalposts.
Well, they just wanted an excuse.
Yeah, they just wanted something
They
to,
wanted
yeah.
something to really like nail him for, and they were like, okay, thank God he gave us this. Now this is it. Now I can take this with me the whole time, because guess what? We won't forget this. That you
Every
could,
time, well, he sold out.
yeah,
Yeah.
you can get all the accolades and all the points you want. You can get all the championships you want. I'm still gonna feel this way about you in this regard because of what you did or what I wouldn't have done in
Do
your
you
position.
do you think that celebrities get to a point where they can be bigger than the program? And I say that because I'm thinking about Kanye, right? I've and
Bigger than a program.
bigger than the institution, bigger than the industry, bigger than whatever, because of their influence and their impact. I know you mentioned, what was it, JK?
J.K. Rowling.
Exactly. Like, so do you think that you can get to a point to where B and J, you are not, you're kind of out, you're able to kind of stand outside of it and not be
Outside of the culture. Yeah.
affected by it and
Um.
say what you want to say? Because I know that sometimes it's like
Ooh.
we don't want to hear, personally want to hear about your political views, your stances on different areas, right? Sometimes we don't want to hear that, but do you think that it gets to a point where it doesn't matter what we want to hear at all because it doesn't affect them in that same way, but they feel maybe a duty to stand for causes or stand for what they believe in at some point?
Hmm. I think I think for the most part, people are fine with you having um your opinions as long as it aligns with mine. You know what I'm saying? So like I don't think it's more so about you being bigger than a program. I think it's just depending on what you say and when you say it.
It's depending on the program, or it's depending on the agenda.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, we can go there. Like
Okay.
I think for Kanye's situation, right? He's always sort of reinvented himself.
Hmm.
To an extent, right? Whether it be musically or just
But do you
personally.
feel like some of it was a cash grab? Because when, I'm not gonna lie, when he started
But
showing up in the
see,
church,
and this is
it started feeling
this is
it started feeling cash grabby.
right. But historically, he's always been this guy that just like every time we see him, is something new with him, right? Whether it be
But
fashion,
Sunday service
music,
felt like a stretch.
but that like that constant reinvention could lead to mistrust, right? Because now when you do stuff, we see that it's attached to something bigger or
What
something
was
that you're
Sunday
promoting.
service attached to? Because I never was it just
Sundays,
him coming back to
his
in a
roots.
new way?
Because he's always made like church music, if that
Mm-hmm.
makes sense, right? Like it hasn't been like the
Or
gospel.
feel.
Yeah,
Yes, because
right.
his
His upbringing and all this other
yeah,
stuff. So
you
like
can feel it.
there's a sound that he's always kept throughout his music.
Yes.
But the issue with Sunday service is that it went from this really innocent production,
Mm-hmm.
right? He was bringing this choir on the road with him. He was making this like gospel music, with drums and all this other stuff, and it sounded great. And then it turned into something more. And I don't know if
Yeah.
he wanted, I don't know if that was like the intention, but he's Kanye West, so it was going to be amplified
Yeah.
because people just have an interest in him. And shout out to Kanye, he just dropped an album that is only on Spotify right now. So, but so like I think maybe it was some sort. But see, that's the thing, right? It's just like you can't even if it was some sort of like side project that you wanted to do, right? You were just like, you know what, I'm bored. Let me try to make some music, or this is something that I feel very strongly about, and I had the means to do it. Let me get a choir together and like let me make this gospel music for
Mm-hmm.
my family and friends. And then it turns into something bigger, and people are like, oh, you're just making gospel music because you want money from the church, right? Like, or something like that. And it's like, no, like he could literally just feel a way about making this music, and that's what he want to do. And I think J.K. Rowling, right, that is something like her political views are something that is like near and dear to her heart and spirit. And so she, in my opinion, she could definitely speak out about it if that's what she wants to do. But
She has spoken out
she
about it.
she no, but I'm saying like some people probably feel like no, you shouldn't talk about this, right? Because of who you are and your fan base. It's just like no, if it's something that you care about, you should be able to speak out about it, right? Because if we start policing
Mm-hmm.
people's First Amendment, right? If we start policing that, then what can you say? Right? If
Yeah.
something affects you, and maybe I don't know if it affects her or maybe someone close to her, and the reason why she feels so strongly about it, and she's also a woman, so you have to give her that,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And so I don't think you can be too big, of course, because we've seen it, right? We've seen it with Puff. He wasn't someone that was speaking, so maybe that was a bad example.
But we've seen the fall. We've seen. I mean, I think Kanye is a great example of how he there was this humble and great start to a really great story in person
I think that's
that
what
grew and grew and grew, and more and more about him became revealed, or he revealed more and more about himself to to a space where it's unsafe. I would say the internet in large part is not the safest place in the world to
and
share all your inhibitions.
and that's
And
why he was doing it at the shows.
even still, I don't know that, because you're talking about,
Because
and
at
at
least
a
you
show
know
it's the energy though. Now
you're shifting it.
you're
Yeah,
exchanging energy with thousands of people at one time,
yeah.
right?
Transference of energy is
So it's like so I believe there needed to be a safer space, but instead this was the space that was chosen, and there was maybe no safeguards, there was maybe no safe people, right? And so then you become a victim of your own vices or devices, whatever the saying is, and you start putting out more information, sharing more information, giving more because of maybe the attention or whatever the dopamine hit is. And now you've become someone who's unlikable, untrustworthy,
and see,
and you don't want to. I sorry, I'm not interested in the new album.
and shout out to Tina Fey, right? Because that segues into my next point. Tina Fey was on a podcast earlier this week. Well, no, I think it was last week. Excuse me. And she pretty much was saying that authenticity is expensive. in today's
Mm,
day and age.
expensive. Explain that to me.
Meaning, don't get on these platforms, don't get in front of microphones and really start
It
being
says,
yourself.
it says it's on the micro.
No, but we're respectful.
Oh,
See,
okay.
that's what she
Oh,
was really
okay. Okay,
saying.
go ahead. I'm
She was
sorry.
saying like you're. She was like you give up so much nowadays, right? Like
Yeah.
it's cheaper to just kind of be polite, and because if you start to really be your authentic self and you start telling people things, right, or you start criticizing groups, individuals,
Yeah.
companies or something like that, that can turn into like bridges being burnt, and that can eventually hurt you down the line, especially when you're starting out, in your career. Someone like him may not really affect him anymore because he's, who he
He
is.
builds the bridge at this point.
Right, right.
Yeah,
He's the gatekeeper.
he's building bridges to extend.
You know what I'm saying? And I think, and back to the Kanye thing, because people, and I've heard this argument before. They said Kanye CJ was able to like walk the line, right? So he started off as an artist, independent. Then he made a deal with Def Jam. He and his guys made a deal with Def Jam for 50%, right? And then he ended up becoming the president. So now he knows how that side works. Then he does the deal with Live Nation, starts Rock Nation. Now, you know what I'm saying? Like he just found ways to stay in tuned with what was going on, and he was able to kind of like build those networks in order to get where he wanted to be. Kanye, on the other hand, artist, and then it just shot up because of the Yeezy deal, right? He didn't really have to go through and make those connections. He didn't have to network as much, right? Because remember in 2013 when he was like really starting off with his rants, oh, they don't want me in the building, blah 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 blah. Like he was basically saying the owner of LVH and LVMH needed to meet with him, and it was just like,
No, we don't.
you know what I'm saying?
Actually, our brand is good.
But he
Actually,
was
our family of brands is good because we have a family of brands
what?
over here.
There's
So
like a
yeah,
hundred companies or something.
yeah, like we're actually okay.
Ridiculous. So
Though today they might need a little bump, because I know that luxury
ain't going
retail
nowhere.
has,
They ain't going
well, they dropped 20%.
going nowhere.
So
So
they're not going anywhere. I'm just saying the value, the
yeah.
intrinsic value has definitely dropped for luxury retail. That's all I'm saying.
So
Allegedly, I am not a financial advisor.
so so Kanye, he didn't spend the time networking like he did. And so when he starts talking about these people and he started burning these bridges during like what the last 5 6 years, that in turn put him in a tough spot. So now it's like, okay, well, go do your thing. Since you're so big, you're bigger than the program. Go do your thing. And so, I would say he's doing okay, right? Like I think he has it figured out. He's been in the game for a long time. But if you're someone young, right, and I think this is what Tina is saying, if you're someone young, right, that's starting out, don't give too much, right? Timothy Chalamet, when he said what he said about the ballet dancers and the opera singers, bro, you got to be careful because that is an art form, and you are judged off your art. So to
Exactly.
sit there and say, hey, another art form is trash, people, those voters, those producers, the heads of these companies, these studios and stuff like that, you better be careful, man, because like they
You could get blocked out, what,
slowly but surely,
slowly but surely, and
absolutely.
shunned from a lot of these spaces. I mean, we can bring up what Nicki Minaj and
And you said that in
what the
front of
Grammys,
what
and how she's never gotten a Grammy, wasn't it?
what did she? Oh, with the
From,
performance, and they pulled it.
yeah,
Yeah,
like ever since then, it's allegedly, that's been
I can see
an
that happening.
ongoing thing, right?
Absolutely.
But you upset the wrong people, or you say the wrong things,
Yeah.
or you put too much out there in these spaces that are unsafe, right? Some things are better left behind closed doors. Some things are, and that may not be the best example because we're talking about a performance. However,
No, I think
when
it's
you're
I
when
think it's
you're
aligned.
when
Yeah.
you're early in your career, yes, you do have to make, and we can bring this down to the quote unquote little people, but are you willing to make this concession for the time being to and make these connections to get to where you're trying to go, and
have some discernment, man. Like,
Yes,
is this a
discernment.
time for me to say this,
Is this, are you winning the battle or are you winning the war? Right? It's like
bro?
at the end of the day, this is something small that I could.
That is a pillow talk conversation that you can have with Kylie Jenner, yo. You could tell Kylie, yo, you know
Man, I
what?
could not
You know,
believe.
like she's scrolling on her feed, she sees a ballet dancer, you know, they trash, you know what I'm saying? Or like, I don't
Right.
get the art form. Like, you could say something like that, but instead, at that moment, right, with her.
Right.
But on Matthew McConaughey's podcast with an audience, bro, you sit there and say,
Yeah.
you like, oh yeah, you have these feelings.
It's almost
Keep
like
it.
the arrogance. Like it's crazy how much celebrities do, or influencers, because we've talked about that character arc of the influencers going from being the relatable everyday person, right, to being the luxury haul, I have everything, flaunt, flaunt, flaunt girlies, right? So like we've
Who's
seen
your
that.
Who's your makeup girl that you used to follow?
Jackie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's like
Well,
we've
you still
seen.
follow her. Let me not
Yeah,
say that.
I do still follow her. However, I follow like her luxury channels as well because I do enjoy watching luxury content. It's something that's aspirational for me. I enjoy it. I think it looks. I think the things look great. Also, I enjoy the arc of some celebrities and some influencers who keep that relatability to them, right? And we don't see the arrogance or the rudeness that begins to emerge.
You know what?
Tiana Taylor is another one. I love Tiana. And I think that we've seen her get her accolades, do her thing, go through ups and downs, but she's always stayed relatable and grounded. And it's never in a way of her flaunting her success and her wealth and her this and her. It's never her having an attitude with people, being rude to people. She's always been kept it professional, kept her
You know what
thoughts
it
to
is.
herself.
You know what it is. I don't even think it's about
She's
how.
kept us out of the group chat, even when it came to her and her divorce and all that. She was like, I tried to keep you out of the group chat as long as I could, and here we are. So let me just say X, Y, and Z, and I'm gonna move on.
Which to
Because
my
at that
next
point she
point,
has to give.
which
Okay.
to my next point, it's about controlling the narrative.
Right.
You know, controlling your narrative, right?
Controlling
And
your
and it, and
narrative.
it's not even a knock on that person's character, right? Which I think has a lot to do with it.
Yes,
You know,
I would agree.
because if you're like, I'll go back to Wiz, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
I
stopped
was gonna go back to Wiz
I stopped
too.
watching this content only because like I got older and I wasn't smoking or anything like that. But even when I have came across his videos just to see what he's doing, it's like, okay, it's still the same. It's just that, oh, you got a better camera. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or better yet, like you may have a little bit more people with you because of who you are and all this other stuff, or you're just in random spots, man, and you're just recording it. So it could feel a little bit more produced than it was before, but it's fine, right? Like me and your mom, we were talking about we were talking about the Jay interview, and she mentioned she mentioned this line, and it was Jay pretty much said like, you was who you was before you got here.
Yes.
So the ones that we see flaunting and we see like we're questioning like, okay, what is your character really like? They've always been like that. Your
But
girl
money enhances that a lot of times.
Absolutely,
Yes.
right? And so to back to your girl, Jackie, right? Eventually she was going to end up like you get success, you start experiencing new things. Eventually you're going to want to show that, right? At least to her fans. Now, the ones that want to just see the makeup stuff, would you say she had two channels, two
Yeah,
separate
she has
channels?
two different
She has a
channels.
luxury
Yeah.
and a makeup channel, right? Okay, you can still see me here. The ones that enjoy the journey and the luxury stuff, y'all come over here, and that's how you do it, right? And I think with someone like Tiana, she doesn't give us much, right?
No,
But
she doesn't.
but when
I swear to God, I just got an email that says Mr. Beast on it. They're listening to us. I promise you, they listening to.
well, Mr. Beast is listening to this pod,
What do
please.
you have to do with Salesforce, Mr. Beast? He's coming to a Salesforce event. Go ahead, baby. I am so
Well, that's
sorry, but that
fire.
is just so wild how that happened.
Yeah, but
And then we're gonna wrap this segment up.
I feel like I feel like it is important to control the narrative, right?
Yes.
And if you can prevent if you could prevent yourself from giving up too much, and honestly just making sure that the people around you also isn't giving up too much, I think that is like very very crucial. Because when I think about like someone like Frank Ocean, right, like he disappears and we don't know anything about him. I think whenever he gets ready to provide us music, then of course we'll be pulled back in. But it's I think if it means staying offline or just speaking to only people that you want to speak with, then absolutely do so. Instead of hopping on socials or just kind of doing the Kanye thing, crowdsourcing, right? Because then like the message gets lost, and now all of a sudden people are paying you to be something that you're not entirely.
Yeah.
So I think that's really the issue with me is just that you know be careful because and honestly Timothy might actually have a lot of great opinions about art, like he might be a historian. However, there's I think to my point there's just a time and place for it. And so instead of getting on that platform and kind of shitting on this art form or those pieces of art, I think it's just best to kind of keep it quiet, and just
So, oh, go ahead.
yeah, just y'all go back to doing what you were doing,
So I would say then ultimately
that wasn't too subtle.
less is more. So ultimately less is more.
Yes, less is more.
Okay, so let's get into
Ran
our
into
next
it.
segment called On My Mind, where we talk a little bit about a cultural event, social event,
Okay.
something that's happening in pop culture. What has been on your mind this week?
Um, the things that the things that I'm willing to do for these Jay Z tickets.
How long was the queue? What was the queue? It was
It
like a
got up to
million
a
people.
1.6
That's insane.
for a 46,000 seat
Do you know if it's sold
stadium.
out yet?
Yes.
Oh, is it? Both
Yes,
days? Both nights?
it's been 3 days since they put up general admission tickets. Like, yes, it's done 3 nights actually.
So only VIPs and early access people got tickets. Is that what you're saying? Or has
No,
general admission is general admission like separate
the
from?
general admission is separate from the VIP stuff. So the VIP queue got up to 1.6.
So that's what I'm saying. Like if they bought everything, because can't they
No,
buy general admission?
no, they didn't buy everything. No, 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 no. I think they only sold it. From my understanding, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ticketmaster, but from my understanding is that when they put up these VIP pre-sales, right? There was like 6 different
Yeah, there was like
areas
quite a
in the
few.
stadium that you could buy tickets to for, and those sell first, right? And then everybody else gets bumped back into the general admission queue. I think that's how it works. I haven't had to be in a queue. I know you did that for Beyonce. So
I
tell me,
did.
how did that work?
I mean, you're just in the queue, and then like when you're let into the room, essentially, which is just like a picture, like the stadium and all the seats, then it just lets you into that room, and then you go and look in your section, find you a seat, click the seats that you want, and then check out. So it's like so it was like it, but it was hell, it was all general admission or whatever, the early
I thought
access.
they were only granting like I don't know. It was like a city pre-sale. Maybe if you
There
had
was
a city
I saw that
card.
video. It was like so many damn pre-sales. I was like, okay, so y'all are
Yeah, it was
never
like
gonna see the regular tickets
yeah,
because
exactly. That's what I'm
but I'm
thinking.
saying like if that many people are going in for pre-sale, they don't have to buy a VIP seat. They can
Oh, okay, fair.
absolutely probably
I thought they were
buy a
only selling the VIP
no,
seats.
if
Okay.
they are early access, if you have early access through City Bus or City Cash or whoever, like
Yeah.
that just means you get to get into the queue earlier and make your purchase before
Everyone
maybe
else.
it goes out to general presale. But what I'm thinking is that there were so many people in that area alone that I don't even think it made it to general admission because this is the thing. I know me. If I'm trying to get those tickets legit, and I haven't cashed in on my benefits, but I see that there's a pre-sale for Capital One. Actually, let me go ahead and activate my card real quick so I can go ahead and get that pre-sale entry.
I know baseball just started, but is can someone please, or better yet, maybe I need to look and see if Yankee Stadium is hiring. That
You just
way,
want to work the. I'll just work.
let me figure it out. You know what I'm saying? Or better yet, how about this? I heard a great idea. Find a rooftop
Yes,
above Yankee Stadium and watch it
absolutely.
there.
If you have friends who live somewhere in the area and they have roof
Because
access, absolutely.
I need to hear You Don't Know in Yankee Stadium. That'll be insane.
Absolutely. Just imagine, like, down, in Nashville, everyone can hear the concerts happening at Nissan.
Yeah, for sure.
So like if you,
We heard
if
Taylor Swift from here.
yeah, like you can
I'm lying.
hear not from here. Like
I'm lying.
I'm about to say, like, wow. See, that's what I'm saying. People lie about anything.
Nigga, we in Goodlettsville.
But so yeah, like people could hear that concert everywhere.
So either so there's only like four different things, right, that I could do to get these tickets. One, find, I don't know, rub somebody's feet.
Okay, we're already done. We're
Number
finished.
two, find a job at Yankee Stadium. Number
Whose
three,
feet you rubbing? That's the real question. You can go find you a woman who feet you can rub, who gonna buy them tickets.
I don't know.
Get you
Number
a sugar mama.
I'll rub a pig's feet.
Okay, we're done.
Number
This has gone
three,
too far.
find a rooftop and just watch it from there. Get a couple lawn chairs, yeah, just watch it from the rooftop and just listen. And number four, hope that Netflix and Jay-Z come up with some sort of agreement
Yes,
so we can have this stream. There's no way. I just don't believe that.
that's what
And I'm
I'm
taking up most
hopeful
of this
for.
segment since we had to
Okay,
bring it back.
okay.
But I'm hoping that they actually, because
Oh God,
he's no, but like he's put the shows on Title before, right? It was his B
yes.
side stuff, and I feel like this is sort of aligned with, if
Let me
not.
tweet. Let me go ahead and let me go to Netflix right now. I'm gonna go to their Instagram because I'm good about DMing.
Have you gotten responses though?
In
Carmex
some
responded
cases,
to you.
Carmex did respond to me, and so did Red Baron. And them
What did
thin
Red Baron
ass
say?
pepperonis.
What did Red Baron
They
say?
said DM us
Hold on.
about your
For
pepperonis.
context, we opened a Red Baron box, and the pepperonis were very thin,
They
very
were very
small,
thin. Let me add more
and so she.
context. So they were so thin we couldn't even rearrange them on the pizza. Okay, so I went to Red Baron. Okay, and I said, hey, under a video of them rearranging, they said rearrange it any way you like. I said, well, mine are so thin, I can't even do that.
Whoa!
And they were like, DM us happily because I don't know. I don't know. I need something because it wasn't like this back in the day. I've been a Red
Have
Baron.
they responded? Besides the DM?
I didn't actually
Oh,
DM them. It was just
oh,
for the principle. It's the principle. Just so you know, we know that the pepperonis have gotten thin over the last couple of years. I've been eating Red Baron for years
yeah. Like
before the
Red Baron, what do you
craze.
think is like? What do you plan to do? Like
No, what y'all are doing allegedly
DM
is
us?
y'all are slicing off half of the thinness of the pepperoni. They used to be thicker than this, and y'all done saved a little penny by slicing them so damn thin that they just stuck.
Yeah, check the blades at the
That's
warehouses,
crazy. They're
the
like, and that's
factories.
the thing is like, it's like, you can take a half a centimeter worth of cheese off, and we just saved $300,000 this year. Allegedly,
On
I
every
don't know if that's
pizza.
what
That's a
what is
lot of,
happening,
yeah.
but if you thin out these pepperonis enough, yeah, you can save a good little coin
It'll
for the
stretch.
amount of pizzas that you're sending out. I'm not crazy. I know. I used to be able to pick them pepperonis up and put them in a circle. That's what I do know. And this is probably the second or third time we have gotten a Red Baron, and them pepperonis been so damn thin. And I am frustrated about that. Every once in a while, I like a good box pizza,
Yo,
and I'm not above it.
this is exactly why I love this woman.
I'm not above it. I don't
I
care.
love this woman.
I'm not above it.
My final point is hopefully Netflix and Jay Z they partner to live stream this event.
And
These
to make sure it
three
happens,
events,
baby, I'm gonna go
three
to their
shows,
Instagram and I'm gonna message Netflix and
because
say, "Hey, this is
that's
what we
ridiculous.
want."
That's ridiculous.
Yep, Netflix. There you go. Don't worry.
he's still 60 years old. He still has drawing power. So he has drawing power. So y'all need to figure it out, man. There's people in Boothum, Iowa, that would
Okay,
go
we're done.
that would love to go see him perform, but they won't be able to because the ticket is sold out. So that is on my mind this week. Hopefully, there's an announcement.
Yes,
Yeah.
hopefully so. Um, on my mind this week, I don't want to go uh too far down the political rabbit hole. But the Drewski skit was funny.
Ah. Okay.
Um, apparently there's been backlash at this point.
We don't
He
know who he was talking about.
We don't, with this big ass square jaw. We do not know. That looked crazy. He looked crazy.
He looked
with this makeup. He looked crazy in the face with him holding this Bible, and that was, I don't know. It was just a lot. It was just a lot. It looked so.
He looked creepy.
It looked creepy and it looked crazy. And you know what? It is what it is. It was entertaining. I enjoy Drewski. I enjoy his skits. This, I wouldn't say that this was my favorite one. It's just causing a lot of discourse online, and so that's funny. I guess, well, not necessarily funny, but it's interesting, the amount of discourse.
Is that considered a win?
As far as what? I think yeah. If you're causing discourse in healthy ways, people are talking about it. People are now like, who is he referring to? What are the
because there wasn't,
that are happening?
I think when he played the white guy in the hood, right, with the tattoos and stuff, there wasn't a lot of discourse around that.
Yes,
but it was entertaining.
It was entertaining.
You know what I'm saying? This, on the other hand, I feel like there's a flip. Like, this wasn't as entertaining, but there's a ton of discourse.
There was allegedly a cease and desist was sent, and
that was
there was a tweet by him, saying that he had received this and that parodies are covered under something. I don't know. Don't give me the lion. This is all alleged anyway, so I don't even know. But at the end of the day, I think that it goes back to that same argument of, are we being too sensitive as a society? Because we had this conversation when it came to Chappelle and his comedy. What's towing the line? Like, can we talk about this? Can we not talk about this? Everything needs to be censored. Everything needs to, within the world of comedy, right? And everyone is so sensitive when it comes to that.
Would you want to see blackface?
That ain't my type of comedy, baby. That ain't my type. I don't even watch it.
But do you support them doing so?
Do your thing, babes. Again, that's not my type of comedy. I'm not here to, again, police anyone. But I can tell you, we got Drewski dressed up in whiteface.
You were listening to Tina Fey. See, you just be polite.
Okay, we got Drewski dressed up in whiteface. Okay, but see, I've always been pro-choice, and I will gladly say that. I've always been pro-choice, and in that vein, I mean, I'm not here to impede on anyone's beliefs. I'm not here to make you see my point. I'm not here to make you do something you don't want to do. I don't care how you choose to live your life. Just don't try to impose how you live your life on how I live mine.
Yeah.
And how I choose to live my life. And I don't have to agree with what you do, and you don't have to agree with what I do.
And I reserve the right to call you stupid.
Exactly. Just like you reserve the right to call me stupid. Right. Like, that's fine. Healthy discourse is fine. I don't mind that at all. But I don't have to agree with it. I don't have to engage with it. And so that's the point that I'm making, is that ultimately the skit is the skit. You can watch it or not watch it, right? And you can choose not to engage with it. It's just so funny that anywhere on the internet, it's just so funny, just in general on the internet, people choose to engage with content you don't like. Like, stop. Like, it's literally,
I think we were talking about it in a previous episode.
Probably.
We were talking about hate watching.
Yeah, like, it's like, just move on.
People subscribe to that.
And it's so weird. I think that is the weirdest thing. Like, I'm not going to stay around to watch somebody dressed up in blackface, personally, it just isn't my type of content. And so I'm not going to
Yeah.
entertain it or engage with it. I don't get the joke. The joke isn't for me.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move on,
Yeah.
but I just find it I find it interesting that so much discourse has taken place over
What's
over this.
No, but what's more interesting, and I told you this, what's more interesting is that people are kind of saying, "Oh, you shouldn't spoof this person," meaning
No
like,
one's off limits.
But no, but are you admitting that this person behaves this way?
It's an interesting observation.
I think, and that's what makes Drewski such a genius. Is this his ability to observe people and things and culture and put it in this play.
When he did the death stare, I said, you know what? I'm freaked
Please
out.
make sure you put him on the thumbnail.
I was so freaked out. Just him. It looked like he was looking into my soul, and I was like, "This is creepy. I need to cut this off."
Yeah,
I felt so creeped out. I was like, "I can't watch this anymore."
so
And then, hold on.
it
I'm
was so
sorry.
crazy to him that he was just like, I have to speak.
The comparisons. This is again. We go back to how y'all was so mad at him in the church. He done brought it full cycle. Okay, he was talking about the churches, and then we see the things that are happening in the churches, and they do the side by side comparison. He's getting it from somewhere, guys.
I might need to go on a Drewski binge right now.
Like,
I need to
so
see a
then
compilation
with
video.
this video, I saw a side by side that someone put together of him, possibly impersonating someone else, and I'm like, I'm seeing similarities.
It was kind of messing up my brain because I thought it was him.
What?
I'll have to show you the photo that I'm talking about, but I really thought it was him. I was just like, oh, that's not. It was someone else that people are starting to like tie to the video.
Okay.
That he was spoofing.
Okay,
it wasn't
okay.
just one person. It was like two
Oh,
of them.
okay.
And so I was like, oh, that's not. That was crazy.
All of social media is really just is so unserious. The internet is such an unserious place.
I don't think we're getting too soft though. I don't think that. I don't think that. I think people. I think it is important to have empathy, right? And just kind of be careful. I mean, like I feel like there's some things people wouldn't joke about, but
Then again,
yeah, then again, right? So I don't know. I don't think it's too soft. People just talking, you know.
well, on that note, we're going to hop into our last segment, which is going to be Left on Red, where we answer a listener
This
question.
might be our longest episode.
What?
I said this might be our longest episode.
It might be. So we're going to hop into our listener question, Left on Red. If you have a question that you would like for us to answer, please send it to crembrule@gmail.com.
Yes, please.
This question is named, When are we when no one is watching? I've been thinking a lot about identity and how much of who we are depends on the environment we're in. At work, I act professional and structured. Around friends, I'm more relaxed and sarcastic. Around family, I sometimes fall back into the same role I had growing up. None of these versions feel fake exactly, but they're definitely different. Social media has made this even more confusing because it feels like everyone is curating some version of themselves for an audience. Sometimes I wonder which version of me is the real one, or if there even is a single real version. Maybe identity is more fluid than we like to think. But if that's true, how do we know who we actually are?
Hmm. I'll let you start with this one.
Okay.
I'll let you start with this one.
I would say that I absolutely agree that when we're in different situations, different aspects of our personalities or how we feel within those spaces can allow us to be more comfortable in different versions of ourselves. However, I don't believe that because you show up differently or more professional at work versus when you're with your family versus maybe you're with work acquaintances, right, outside of the work building, say you're at a happy hour, those versions of yourselves, it's honestly a knowing of the comfort and security that you have within those spaces. Not everyone is allowed to see you in your truest form. And honestly, I feel like this even goes to like what we're talking about as far as celebrity culture and influencer culture. It's not everyone needs to be a part of that innermost comfortable circle that you have. Some things are reserved for my family, right? And maybe my family is the people who get every single aspect of who I am. I don't believe that that means that you're being less true to who you are because you choose not to share your political views at work. It's just not the environment for you to share your political views at work. You
Right.
know, like that's just not, it's not a safe environment for you to do so. And also, no one cares because you're at work. It's just not the environment to have those types of conversations. Now, if you build a friendship with someone,
There's levels to it.
yeah, it's like then yes, but does that mean that you're not being true to your
What
identity?
were we?
No.
What did I bring up to you? I was like, there's like a happy hour friend.
Yeah.
You know, like there's nothing wrong with that.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that at
You know,
all.
and honestly, I would. I'm glad. And yes, I think you have a certain personality at work, right? Hopefully, it is structured and professional, as you said. Well, as she said, right?
And hopefully you don't feel like you have to stray too far from who you are, because also leaning into that, just because I'm being professional at work and
But what does that even look like?
I'm leaning more into like I'm not going to I'm not going to do the huge code switching thing and all of that. That's me personally. I'm still going to be myself, right? And I'm still going to be professional and talk professionally, if you will, or whatever the case may be. However, I still have my personality in that. Like I'm still going to make a joke.
That's
I'm still going to laugh.
that's what I'm asking. It's like, what do you feel you're having to hinder when you
That
go
would
to
be a better
work?
question to ask. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, what do you feel?
What do you feel like you're having to like reserve
Right.
when you walk through those doors? You know, like for me, like it's nothing. This is just who I am when I'm around people that aren't my family. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Like I'm just very cool. You know what I mean? Like I'm not going to be like ultra professional. You know, I'm not going to do that. But yeah, I mean, there's some things that I just won't talk about.
Yeah.
You know,
And
and I
I've
don't think
actually
that's
done that before.
yeah.
I've made
I
that
don't think
distinction.
I
Yeah.
don't think there's a problem with that. You know, like if you're having to completely alter your personality just to be able to get through your 8 hours or 10 hour shift.
Then you need to do some soul searching. because you
Yes,
because I think that in that case
that's crazy.
you need to learn more about how you see yourself, because maybe you don't know how you see yourself in the world or in different
I will
environments.
say this: there's someone that I work with, and he talks very very loud,
I
and
talk
I would literally hate it if I find out he does not talk like that outside of work. I'd be like,
you
bro,
better always talk
you
like,
know what I'm saying?
because you gonna make me mad. I better see you in the grocery
What?
store next week, and you better be loud.
I would. I swear, I would be distraught. I'd be like, "Oh, what is this? Like, what are you doing?" But
You
yeah, so like,
whispering.
yeah. Oh, you quiet for real? Oh my goodness.
That would actually send me. I
No,
would be
but
so
I think
upset.
yeah. I mean, like, I just think you know, it's there's nothing wrong with just changing how you talk to people. You know, like I'm fine with that, but like your personality as a whole, like that's a little crazy.
Yeah, or like just your identity of like I'm compassionate, I'm this, I'm that. It's like I do think that environment matters, and when you are in different environments, you naturally adapt in those environments,
As
right?
yeah, you better.
As you typically would. When I'm in an environment with my family, I adapt to that environment with my family. I know the norms that happen within this family dynamic and how we interact. The same is true when I'm in the workspace. I know that environment and I know the dynamics of how to interact within that environment. And yes, that does influence the way that I may speak to others or,
Fair,
having conversation, but
absolutely.
it doesn't change me as a person, and it doesn't make me do things that I would never do any other time. Like I'm still honest. and I'm still kind. I'm
Yeah,
still
like if
caring.
I ever walk through your office and I don't hear you laugh, I'll be like, what is going on here?
Right.
You know
Or
what I
like
mean?
even just me saying good morning. I don't say good morning just I say good morning to a lot of people all the time.
Yeah.
It's not just like I text my mom good morning. We text each other good morning.
Right.
Like that's just part of I care and I just want to let you know I'm thinking about you,
Right.
in the time or whatnot,
Right.
so like that's not something that, and if I'm naturally quiet, or then I probably wouldn't go around the workroom saying good morning to people.
Yeah.
I don't think that like that doesn't change at all. But
Hmm.
with given the environment and the circumstance, absolutely, I am going to adapt based on what's appropriate for the environment.
You remember when we were at Low Bar? I think it was
Okay.
Low Bar with the steps,
Okay.
and I ran into the dude, a dude that's on my floor.
Oh,
Like
at
what?
work.
Yeah, same dude talks to everybody in the office every morning.
Oh, when we went to Ernie's.
Was it Ernest?
Yeah, I think it was Ernie's.
And you met him, and he was
Yeah.
still, yeah,
Yeah.
same dude, exactly the same way,
Exactly. We were
in
out.
and out.
Yeah.
You
It was
know, it
quick.
didn't matter. Well, no, no,
No, no,
you
I
did
I'm just saying, like.
drop pass. No, no. What I'm saying is that he's like the same guy that I would see typically
Hmm.
throughout the week. Say you saw the same person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So like that right there, I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that. Like
Yeah, but
that's just
he's
him.
not trying to sit down and kick it and chat, like also because I feel like too, I am that kind of person, which I've said this to those that I've worked with in the past.
Hmm.
Like if we ever saw each other out, it would be the most that I can do is a head nod of acknowledgement, and I'm gonna keep it pushing, babes. And I've said that for the simple fact that I feel like when we're in our separate
It just
environments,
reminded me. Yeah, go ahead.
like when we're in our environments, I don't want to be intrusive into your personal space when we're not in the workhouse. This is not the same environment,
Yeah, he came
right? So
over and he
it's
really
just,
didn't. He
yeah, he
didn't
didn't
say
have
anything.
much to say. He said what's up. Oh,
Even though I
hey.
jumped on him, not in
Okay.
a bad way, but more so I was like, "What's up?"
Pause. I'm joking. You jumped on. I'm sorry. That was good. I had a good one right there.
I jumped on him.
But in that respect, I don't want to intrude on your space, right? And that was the same, especially when I was working, like when I had a team that I worked with, things like that. I would see members of the housekeeping team out and about, and I would make an effort to not impede on their space while they're grocery shopping or whatever the case may
Oh,
be,
man, that,
because it's just
yeah.
like I don't want,
Don't, yeah,
yeah, I
don't.
don't want to do that. Like I'm not going to go out of my way to say hey, like no, I'm not doing that. I'm going, do my thing, you do your thing. If we happen to be out, I'm gonna do my thing. The most you're gonna get from me is and I'm gonna keep it pushing. I'll disappear, and I'm gonna wrap up after this. But I remember I told you the one time when I was out with my mom and we went to Ma's Tacos to go get tacos,
Mm.
and my director was there and he was in line ahead of us. He was in line ahead of us and he turned around. He was like, hey, Amber. And I was like, hey, such and such. And I said, Mom, we're going across the street to Pharmacy Burger. I cannot go in here. Like, because he was there with his wife. I'm here with my mama. I know that we're
Oh,
gonna have a couple
that's fair.
drinks,
That's fair. Okay.
and it was so hilarious because then when we got back to work on that Monday, he
Where
was
did
like,
you go?
he was like, I saw Amber at Moss Tacos, and then I turned back and she wasn't there anymore. Yeah, because we can't do that. Yeah, for me, and that's just me personally.
Hmm.
I can't do that because I want to feel comfortable in the environment, and I can't be as comfortable knowing that my director is sitting a table over and I'm smacking down a margarita. I can't do it.
No,
You know
that's
what I'm
and
saying?
so
Like,
that's fine. That's
but
fine.
I don't think that changes who I am. That's all.
I
So
think
that's all I was gonna say.
you're what you're saying is like you want to set this boundary with the people you work
Yes.
with and for and all this other stuff, right?
Yes.
So if you do see me out, cool, but I'm gonna
I'm gonna politely continue on about my way,
yeah.
baby.
And to answer the question is like to ultimately answer it is that
It's
if you're
environment
finding
sensitive.
yes, if you're finding yourself that you're having to tailor yourself around so many different people, then you need to figure out why that is.
Yeah.
You know.
Um, Awesome. Well, I think that's a great place to end. We had a great episode. If you enjoyed hanging out with us, be sure to like, follow, subscribe, all the
Yes.
things on YouTube if you're watching. If you are, engaging with us on other platforms, you can follow us at Creme Brulee on TikTok. Also, we have a website, cremebrulee.com. We'll make sure to include all the links below. If you have a listener question, be sure to email that over to us as well. Anything else, babe?
No, I'm good.
All
Thank you.
right.
Thank you for listening.
Okay. And peace out. See you on the next one.